So let's talk about Voruna. This Warframe received a substantial buff to her ultimate ability after the Echoes of Duviri update. She got a new augment called Ulfrun'S Endurance. This augment allows you to restore the charges of Ulfrun'S Descent when you kill an enemy with a slash status effect within range. The ability scales with range mods, and direct kills from her fourth ability also count and restore one charge. Essentially, it allows you to continually use her ultimate ability, dealing insane slash and bleed damage over time if modded well. The advantage of using her ultimate as the main damage dealer skill is that it won't break the invisibility of Shroud of Dinah, only the activation cost energy. With the augment constantly restoring charges, you will lessen the energy consumption of Voruna. You will only use Fangs of Raksh and Shroud of Dinah when it expires. However, before you try the augment, you might want to continue watching the video, as there are instances where you might think, I wish this works with the augment. And there are also limitations and preferable builds that you should know first to maximize this augment. This way, you won't waste any helminth resources like I did from trying a bunch of stuff before even getting to my final build. First of all, let's talk about the interaction between Voruna's Likath's Hunt and Ulfrun'S Descent. Her third ability allows you to gain an energy orb or health orb per kill, and it pairs well with the Equilibrium mod, allowing you to spam your abilities whenever you want. The problem, though, is that Likath's Hunt only works when you are using a melee or gun. Ulfrun'S Descent seems to be out of the formula and is not considered a melee attack, so you won't benefit from any energy regeneration using the combo of Equilibrium and Voruna's third ability. This means that this spot right here is the best slot for Subsume or any helminth abilities. But wait, there's another problem. Once you activate Ulfrun'S Descent, you can't cast any Subsume or helminth abilities. You can only cast Voruna's abilities, and you would need to deactivate Ulfrun'S Descent first and recast the Subsume ability again. You may not see it at first as a big deal, but it's important to keep Ulfrun'S Descent active since it has this mechanic wherein it gets stronger after every direct kill you make. If you don't know, each successful direct kill by Voruna's lunge increases the damage by plus 200%, critical chance by 5%, and critical multiplier by plus 0.1 for all subsequent lunges. The damage multiplier from successful kills is displayed below the stylized aiming reticle, by the way. Also, all of Ulfrun'S Descent / damage is affected by an innate 20% critical chance, 1.5x critical multiplier, and inflicts 100 bonus damage against enemies afflicted with at least one status effect. This goes nuts if you have inflicted multiple statuses on the target with the help of your Fangs of Raksh ability. So how does this translate to numbers? The formula for the total / damage of Ulfrun'S Descent is calculated in this way. Based on the Warframe wiki page, if we have a maxed rank Intensify, and then we press at least 4 statuses on a target with the Fangs of Raksh, that would result in 184,275 true damage from the status effect over 6 seconds. That's about 1 million damage in just one lunge, and this can easily kill Steel Path enemies. Now just imagine buffing the power strength of Voruna and adding multiple statuses in your build. By the way, Fangs of Raksh is not the only one that can proc multiple statuses. You can also use primer guns like the Cedo to proc more statuses on the target. If you reset this just to activate your helminth ability, then you would need to start over again, which is annoying sometimes. However, giving helminth builds for Voruna is quite tempting, especially since you know that the ultimate skill primarily deals the meta / damage. There are 2 abilities for helminth builds that I have tried. The first one is Aqua Blades, which may seem kind of weird at first, as you might just think that I'm going for the theme of a wolf Warframe dealing purely / damage. The fact is, Aqua Blades can trigger the increased damage of Ulfrun'S Descent, as it would inflict / status procs before you strike a target with Ulfrun'S Descent. Aside from the status procs from my Fangs of Raksh, I can add another in the form of /. I can even give it the Surging Blades augment treatment. Why not just use a primer gun, though? The answer to that is simple. I don't want to break the invisibility of Shroud of Dinah, which is my primary source of survivability before activating my backup, which is the shield gating mechanic. I did not pursue the build, though, as it would not make any sense to do a Surging Blades build when my main focus is Voruna's Ulfrun'S Descent. Also, Rhino's Roar is a more powerful setup for Voruna's ultimate as it drastically increases the / damage of the ability. Just remember this. Roar can double-dip the damage of status damage over time, such as Slash, and this will be a perfect blend for Ulfrun'S Descent. It's a good ability for the Warframe as it does increase the damage of Voruna's ultimate, but there are two reasons why I also did not pursue this build. First of all, Roar is good at boosting Slash damage, but it would be even greater if we pair it with faction mods and elemental mods. In the case of Voruna, her ultimate ability only scales with power strength, and how I wish that it would be the same as Atlas Landslide, which takes advantage of the mods that you equipped on your melee. And the second reason is that, just like I said earlier, after Roar expires, I need to deactivate Ulfrun'S Descent so I can recast Roar again. This means that I need to start building those damage boosts for Voruna's ultimate. This is the main weakness of pursuing an Ulfrun'S Endurance build for Voruna, and this is exactly how the augment works. You get some, but then you sacrifice some. If you want to try this build, then here are the mods I have for Voruna with the Ulfrun'S Endurance augment. I reverted to basic Voruna with no helminth builds. With this setup, the equilibrium mode is optional, and you can replace it with either power strength for more slash damage for Ulfrun'S Descent, or more duration for Shroud of Dina to last longer. Range is also decent for this build, but don't try to go with overextended, since the only benefit you get from this is how far you can lunge with Voruna's ultimate ability. The status spread radius of Fangs of Raksh jumps from over 10 meters to just 16 meters if you have overextended and stretch in your build. Also, I have the Maker set in this build, which means this Voruna setup will use a Kubra to somehow gain additional nuking capability. The extra armor from Mecha Pulse is helpful, but it's not exactly important, and I just put Mecha Pulse in this slot just to get the maximum 30-meter radius of the Mecha set. If you don't want to get locked into using the Mecha set, however, you can replace the aura slot with growing power for more power strength, or any aura that you think will be helpful for your playstyle. Then instead of Mecha Pulse, you can add another power strength mode like Umbral Intensify in your build. The last important tip I can give you is to make good use of the shield gating mechanic by equipping the Decaying Dragon key in your gear slot, then equipping 2 Augur modes in your secondary weapon. Whenever you cast an ability, Augur mods will then restore your shield, and the Decaying Dragon key will lower your max shield values. Hence you can always have the 1-second invulnerability of shield gating in your build, ready in case of an emergency. Overall, the new Ulfrun'S Endurance augment for Voruna gives players a different playstyle for this Warframe, aside from going with a melee build and the most popular Wrathful Advance, Red Crit build right now. The good thing about this augment is that it gives you the full experience of Ulfrun'S Descent. Voruna was in a weird spot during release, and her Ulfrun'S Descent ability is easily the best spot for subsume abilities. But then, Digital Extremes decided to buff the ability and give it a Band-Aid mode, which makes it fun to play right now. However, this doesn't change anything about how Voruna is being played in Warframe right now. Most of the time, players are using Voruna in endless runes in Steel Path levels. It's a good Warframe to try if you want to chill and kill high-level enemies, but the new augment doesn't change anything about the Warframe. It made her ultimate ability both useful and powerful as a damaging skill, but it doesn't change how we play Voruna. So that's all about it. Again, I hope that you have learned something from this video. Don't forget to leave a like and comment down below if you want to ask something. And also subscribe for more Warframe content. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.